Warning, the player selections you're about to see may flop miserably. FPL TV cannot be held responsible for any of your own transfer shockers. Please, FPL responsibly.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Point Predictor, the series where I choose 5 players that I think will avoid blanks in the upcoming FPL Gameweek. Within these predictions, I can only choose one player per club, and I must follow the categories shown on screen. Before making my selections for Game Week 8, let's quickly see how my predictions from last Game Week performed. Game Week 7 ended up being a very good week for the Point Predictor, with 4 out of 5 selections returning points. They may not have been very high scoring picks, but apart from Abraham, the rest of my choices all returned, with Aguero, Son and Zaha all chipping in with assists, and Leicester's Ricardo Pereira was the pick of the bunch, getting a goal and a clean sheet at home to Newcastle. So let's move on to Game Week 8's predictions now, and see if I can do just as well for the upcoming game week. And if you enjoy the Point Predictor series, be sure to drop a like on the video, and most importantly get subscribed to FPL TV if you haven't already. My defensive option this week, and certainly the most difficult selection for Game Week 8, goes to West Ham's Aaron Cresswell. A West Ham player is not someone I thought I'd be selecting as a defensive shout in the Point Predictor, but the Hammers have actually been very solid at the back in the Premier League recently, keeping 3 clean sheets in their last 4 games. They may have conceded 9 goals in 7 games so far, but let's not forget that 5 of those came at the hands of Man City all the way back in Game Week 1. Therefore, taking that game out of the equation, West Ham in fact boast the joint best defensive record in the league from Game Week 2 onwards, only conceding 4 goals in the following 6 games. Meanwhile, their opponents Palace have been struggling for goals all season, scoring just 6 in the opening 7 games. The underlying numbers don't look promising for Palace either, with the Eagles having the least big chances of any team in the league and only managing 2 away from home. The one small caveat is of course the injury to Lucas Fabianski, and I'm completely aware this significantly weakens West Ham's defensive chances. However, on paper it still looks a decent fixture, and Cresswell in particular has impressed going forward, scoring goals in his last 2 games and having more shots in those 2 than any other defender in the league. My budget midfielder this game week, below the price of 8 million, goes to John Mcginn. Villa's all-action midfielder has currently taken the second most shots of any midfielder in the league, with 21 shots in the opening 7 games. This is just 1 behind the leading midfielder Raheem Sterling, and level with Mohamed Salah, so extremely great company there considering he's only half the price. Granted, 13 of these have been from outside the box, but it's always nice to own players in FPL who aren't afraid to have a pop at goal, and in terms of shots on target, he's actually top of all midfielders on 11. John Mcginn heads into Game Week 8 in terrific form, scoring in back-to-back game weeks, and now faces Norwich City, the team with the second worst defensive record in the league, conceding 16 goals in just 7 games. My midfielder of any value this game week goes to Raheem Sterling. This was a tight call this week between him and his teammate Riyad Mahrez, but with Raheem Sterling only being used as a sub in their midweek Champions League fixture, I think that gives us further assurances that he should be starting their home game against Wolves. Sterling has been a source of much frustration for me this season, with me entrusting him with the captaincy armband on 4 occasions now and painfully blanking in 3 of those games. However, it does seem that he's starting to return to form again now, because since those 3 blanks, he's now bagged a goal in each of Man City's last 3 games. 1 against Preston in the Cup, 1 against Everton in Game Week 7, and now coming off the bench to score the important opening goal against Zagreb, a game in which he made a huge impact in. An important point to make is that in terms of European fixtures, Man City played theirs at home on Tuesday evening, meanwhile their opponents Wolves had a lengthy trip away to Turkey on Thursday night, giving Wolverhampton 2 days less rest than Man City. My budget forward this game week, below the value of 8 million, goes to Timo Pukki. Following blanks in 3 of the last 4 game weeks from Pukki, I believe this home fixture will be last chance saloon for many managers owning the Finnish striker, but given his incredibly consistent form when at home this season, I think there's a very good chance for him to bounce back in Game Week 8. Norwich have managed 9 goals in the opening 7 games, but the notable stat here is that 8 of them have come at home in just the 3 games they've played at Carrow Road so far. This includes the 3 goals they put past Newcastle, the 2 they scored against Chelsea, and of course not forgetting that memorable 3-2 victory over Man City last time they played there. It's also worth mentioning that Pukki has scored in all 3 of these home games as well. His opponents, Aston Villa, are, like Norwich, another side seriously struggling on the road this season, having lost in all 3 of their away games so far. They've conceded 7 goals in their 3 away trips and conceded 45 shots inside the box, averaging 15 per game, and therefore ideal stats for a poacher like Pukki. My forward of any value this game week has to go to Arsenal's Aubameyang. The Gabonese striker kind of picks himself this game week because in terms of predicting points, he's now one of only 3 players to get returns in every single game week so far, so what more could you ask for? When a player does go on such a lengthy run of returns, you feel that surely it has to come crashing to an end soon. But with Arsenal facing Bournemouth at home this week, it does seem the perfect fixture to keep this incredible run of consistency going. Notably, Bournemouth are one of only 3 teams to still not have a clean sheet to their name this season. Therefore, probability-wise, Arsenal are bound to score at least 1 goal in this game, and seeing how crucial Aubameyang is to this team at the moment, if they are to score, he's very likely to be involved. And that wraps up my point predictor picks for Game Week 8. As always, if you enjoyed the episode, be sure to drop a like on the video and get subscribed to FPL TV. There's also just 1 day left to get your team signed up to this month's FPL TV Cup over on Patreon, so if you're keen to win a range of FPL related prizes, then follow the link in the description to find out more. Good luck to all of you watching for Game Week 8, FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all soon.